Hey there, tech heads. Dalton and Cloud here. So, I know it's been a while since our last video, and for that, I apologize. I have been trying to grind it out a little bit more with my degree program coming to the end of my first semester. So, for that, I apologize that I dropped the ball. But to make it up to you, I'm going to release two videos this week, one at the normal time on Saturday, as well as this video today. So, before we get any further, I want you to go ahead and smash that subscribe button over here, as well as hit that notification bell so you could see any future content that I create. Without further ado, let's get into today's video where we learn a little bit something different. All right, so this video, you don't see a certification course, you see something different. We're actually going over something in the IT path, but a little bit more technical, going on the computer science or the coding class. Now, yes, if you want to get in the computer science degree, there are going to be a lot of colleges that offer courses out there. And I would like to say that I do think getting a 4-year degree in computer science is going to be useful for certain jobs, especially if you want to go somewhere like Google or somewhere where it's more prestigious. You want something right out of college, and something that's going to help you get at, for example, a FANG company. But if you don't mind starting somewhere a little lower on the totem pole, uh, just going to a free coding camp is certainly a better option. And speaking of free coding camps, the first study resource that we have on the list is freecodecamp.org. This is actually something I highly recommend because out of all our resources today, they're one of the few that's 100% free. Like, period, 100% free. Freecodecamp.org is going to be the best resource if you are okay with studying on your own term and you there's not really a lot of guidance on this as far as um, hand holding, but this is one of the best 100% free learning resources for computer science out there on the market. I can't stress enough how much I recommend this. They have video series on YouTube as well. We've actually had some certification courses that they've gone over on there in the AWS world. So go to their website, create a free account, sign up with them. You could link your Gmail or just your normal email, whatever you want. I have I 100% think this is one of the best resources you could have, as I said so many times before. Um, as you could see, there's different realms in their curriculum. It says 300 hours for responsive web design, but this is under the impression that you don't have any experience in the computer science world and that it'll take you 300 hours to do everything. Um, But if you have some basic knowledge, maybe you set up your MySpace when you were younger. Uh, MySpace may have been before your time. Maybe you set up a different sort of account and you set up for basic HTML or CSS. So that'll speed up your time. So maybe it won't be 300 hours. It'll maybe be shorter. Same as for JavaScript as the next subject. Front end development like Angular, uh, backend and data visualization, APIs, microservices, computer science, quality assurance. There's lots of different routes. This is sort of the order they recommend you go in. However, they have a lot of different routes depending on what your interest is. Next up is going to be Code Academy. Now, yes, Code Academy is free. They have a lot of free content. They started out 100% free. However, they do have the pro pricing and the pro plans. It's either going to be paid annually, $19 a month, $19.99 a month, or $39 a month for the monthly fees. Unless you have a student email, uh, then you could try it for free. Um, and I don't actually know the pricing plan on here. They don't make it obvious for you to see, unfortunately. But as I said, we're more focused on the free content. They do have a catalog. They will let you know uh, what is part of the free program and what's pro. It'll be clearly labeled. So, basics of learning HTML, which is 6 lessons. The course, that's all going to be free. But then, if you want to have a specialized skill path, career path, where they actually give you like essentials for job interviews, where you actually get more in-depth labs and stuff you could put on your portfolio, that's going to be all part of the pro plan. So anything that's really going to help you actually get a job is going to be part of the pro plan, uh, unlike free code camp. And same in Khan Academy, that's also similar to free code camp, where it's going to be 100% free. This is 100% online open source. Now, the only thing about free Khan Academy is going to be, unlike the latter two, this is not going to be as technical, I feel. I feel like even when you go into advanced topics such as JavaScript, uh, it kind of just scratches the surface and gets you into an idea. But if you want a little bit more hand holding or a little bit more of an easier curve, I think Khan Academy is a great place to start out just to build your knowledge. Um, and then Udemy, there's going to be courses, but none of these are going to be actual courses. That's all going to be paid, which it's not going to be that expensive for the courses when there's a sale going on, I should say. Because usually we'll just launch this in an incognito window just so you could get an idea. And we'll look up coding. And of course, there's a sale going on when we go into incognito. This is for new students. So $17.99, $20, $14. So it's going to be relatively cheap. But when we go, there are free courses on here, which we do want to outline, which are by no means terrible. You could learn code your first game and JavaScript, simple game, practical PHP, master the basics. So if you want an introduction to basics of a certain language, you could certainly go to Udemy. I do love Udemy for its paid content, and I actually recommend their paid content. There's a few instructors, but we're going to go over that in the next video where we actually go over the paid resources that I recommend for coding. And yes, we may go into boot camps as well, or that may have to be a separate video because there are a lot of boot camps, and I want to make sure you're getting into the right one. So W3 schools. Everyone that I know who started out from forever ago has used W3 schools in some way or form. They've come a long way since when they first started. Their platforms changed a lot. Everyone may remember this. W3 Schools is great, useful resources. They now have paid courses that you could actually utilize, which is new. $95, self-paced, learn HTML, learn CSS, learn JavaScript. These prices are not terrible. However, they're not that competitive. So, do I recommend W3 Schools for the paid content? Well, we'll find out in the next video, won't we? But as far as free resources that you could use, there's not really courses, but you can't go on and learn a coding language without utilizing W3 Schools as the reference material in some way or another. I'll tell you that. Next up, and this is going to be specifically if you're going into the developer route for, say, Android, Going to Google or developers.google.com/learn and learning the different pathways there. They do have free and open source materials here for learning how to be an Android developer, how to be a Google developer and make apps. Um, and this is a great place to start if you're trying to go the mobile developer route. They have amazing content here. Where else do you want to get content from the people whose platform you're trying to post on to begin with? And then last, and I've not done too much research on this platform. I've just recently heard about it in the past couple weeks. Is bitdegree.org. Um, so as you see here, dive into your learning adventure. It's free. I have heard a couple people recommend this, but overall, this is new to me. So take this one with what you will. It from just looking at the uh, screenshots it has here, it is similar to the other platforms where you do have your developer side where you go through, you test your code, you run it, and you see how it works on the platform side. And then they have the different views: mobile, desktop, phone, Android, and all the platforms are going to have similar model to this. Now this one, it does look like it has a help bubble, which is a little different. Most of these that you don't have live support you could access, and I'm sure that's going to have a little bit of a paywall to access those resources. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of self-led. They're not going to pay to have someone on standby to walk you through something if you're not paying for those people to help out. That's Help Desk 101. Uh, um, uh, but anyway, uh, this is all the top recommended resources I have heard about or utilized myself as far as for learning coding. The number one recommended is always going to be freecodecamp.org. They have been for the past couple years that I've been around, as well as Code Academy. But as I said, over the years, it has gotten more paywall oriented. So take this with what you will, but they have gotten more in depth as far as prepping you for a job. So they are probably going to be one of the top contenders for paid resources in our next video. There are other resources out there on the internet. Either one, I've not heard as much great reviews about them, or two, there's too big of a gap between their paywall content and their free content. So that's why they were not listed in this video. If you do know some resources that you've personally utilized that should be on this list, please let me know in the video comments. I'd love to add them to our website for when we post the article and we make updates to this video later on down the line. Other than that, I hope you found this useful. And if you do happen to utilize any of these resources, please let me know how they've helped you either land your first job, update your portfolio, or start learning your first language. Other than that, thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.